Dear students, our today's lecture is devoted to the algorithm of summative assessment development across a unit cross-curricular topic. So summative assessment is a structured and systematic process designed to measure how well students have achieved the learning objectives by the end of a unit, term, or course. Unlike formative assessment, which focuses on ongoing improvement, summative assessment evaluates the final results of learning. So this diagram presents the algorithm of step-by-step sequence of conducting summative assessment to ensure it is valid, reliable, and fair. The process begins with step 1, defining learning objectives. Before assessment can take place, teacher must clearly determine what students are expected to know and be able to do. These objectives are based on curriculum standards and serve as the foundation of the entire process. Clear objectives make the assessment purposeful and aligned with the intended learning outcomes. Next step is developing assessment criteria. Once the objectives are established, teachers define the specific criteria by which students' work will be judged. These criteria must be measurable, transparent, and consistent for all learners. For example, in writing tasks, criteria might include grammar accuracy, organization, and content relevance. This step ensures objectivity and fairness. Step 3. Designing assessment tasks. At this stage, teachers create tasks or tests that reflect the learning objectives and criteria. Tasks should be diverse, including written tests, projects, or presentations, and should allow students to demonstrate both knowledge and skills. The design must ensure validity, meaning it truly measures what it intends to assess. The next step, conducting the assessment. This is the implementation stage where students compare the assessment tasks under standardized conditions. Teacher must ensure fairness, provide clear instructions, and create a supportive environment to minimize anxiety and maximize performance. Fifth steps. Evaluating and scoring results. After the assessment, teachers analyze the score student work according to the established criteria and rubrics. Consistency and reliability are crucial here. All students should be evaluated under the same conditions using the same standards. And finally, the last step, providing feedback and reflection. Finally, teachers communicate the results to students, highlighting both achievements and areas for growth. Although summative assessment focuses on final results, feedback remains essential because it helps students reflect on their learning journey and set goals for future improvements. So, in front of you, the algorithm of summative assessment related to the step. The first step is subject program, course plan, learning objectives, level of thinking, assessment criteria, tasks, and descriptors. So, unit, initially we have to mention the unit, and then learning objectives, which are closely connected to the assessment criteria and levels of thinking, of course. And they will direct us to the level tasks, descriptions points, and the rubrics. There are two approaches, think as an evaluator expert and think as an activities developer. So related to the first approach, the question is, what will be the sufficient and precise proof of understanding? What objectives is it necessary to set during performance of a task, topic, and unit to focus on the work on leadership? How can I distinguish between those who really understand those topics or information and who do not understand? And what criteria do I point out for my work? So the next approach, what kind of activities would be interesting and involving in carrying the event on this topic unit? What resources and materials are applicable to this topic? What will the learners do in the class and at home? What task will be offered? How will I encourage assessed student providing information for their parents? And the final question is, do the activities work? Why? Yes or no? There are some papers for you to develop those and to complete those during the practical lessons. And today we're going to consider in a practice one rubrics. Rubrics is a way of describing the levels in accordance with the assessment criteria. They will be used based on the results of the procedure of summative assessment for a unit or cross-curricular topic. In the rubrics, the teacher marks the level of learning achievements for each criterion individually for each student. So, level of learning achievements could be low, middle, and high. So if we speak about the low level of learning achievement, here the student has a difficulty in identifying the general information of the given material. In the middle, the student understands the material but makes some mistakes in identifying the general information of the unit. And the high level of learning achievement is when student correctly identifies the general information and the topic of the given text, or given article, for example, scientific article. Summative assessment is carried out across unit. We have already mentioned it. Natural and mathematical subjects, language subjects also, and across cross-curricular topics. Those are the social subjects. Thank you very much for your attention.